Here is part 3 of my series on some old cordless telephones my neighbors down the street gave me. I have them packed up in this box because a lot of things have taken place since I last recorded anything for this series, but I believe all the accessories original to these telephones are within this box. Okay, here's the second belt clip for the AT&T system. Here's the General Electrics, manufactured by Atlinks USA, aka the Atkins, aka the Linalinks. I didn't say the full thing of this. This is the base for that 2.4 gigahertz GE phone, which is missing the antenna, but the antenna itself is actually still there. And comically enough, it's a fake antenna on this base. There's no space for a wire in there, so the fact that the cover snapped off doesn't even mean anything. Not that it really would, ordinarily, but still. And here is the Sony 900 megahertz cordless telephone, model number SPP-N1000, with a handset antenna that is miraculously still flexible. And here is its AC adapter. There's the adapter for the GE telephone, and the handset for it, along with the belt clip, which is in the translucent blue. Oh, where did I put that other piece of... There we go, it's behind me. Oh, there's the antenna for the base. And here is the AT&T system. There's the base. The charging cradle. The two power adapters, which I believe would supply separate specifications. Yeah, one gives DC 9 volts 300 milliamps, and the other is 150 milliamps. Both center positive, and they are differentiated by different plug sizes. Wow, looks like I connected multiple different twist ties to get these things bundled together. And this is the 150 milliamp one, which uses the bigger plug for some reason. Okay, and then here are the handsets. This is still stapled together, actually, so I expect originally the belt clips would have come in separate bags. Let's see if I can get this off without tearing the plastic. And yeah, indeed I can. Now, as of today, the replacement batteries I ordered for all 4 of these telephones arrived within the same package. And they weren't labeled with the exact telephones they're supposed to go to, but I believe it should be pretty easy to figure it out, since obviously the 2 that are the same would be for the AT&T system, and since these two are very different sizes, one of them is going to fit in the appropriate phone, whereas the other will not. So first I'm going to go ahead and plug in these AT&Ts. That was the charging cradle, and now the base.
Time and day not set. You have 3 old messages. Wednesday.
Yeah, I actually don't remember what messages those might be. Those could have been memos I recorded after making the video. So let's not listen to those right now. Alright, now this battery. Model 2422. Oh yeah, I think this one does say it on here. And there it is. 2422. So let's see if this battery has a charge. Okay. It looks like this display has an extreme case of pixel failure. Let me get this in here. Jeez, I wouldn't have thought these were made that early. Yeah, good luck reading that. Seems to be the working. It's got a neat keytone. It's kind of like the newer ones, except it sounds analog, unlike the refined Digitan sounding newer ones. Let's see if I can find how to get to the ringers. There we go. That's pretty loud. Nope. So I guess you can't turn off the ringer on this? No, it doesn't seem like it. It seems like there's just the 4 choices and off. Well, that's kind of unfortunate because these are blastingly loud. Wow, I'm gonna have to work on that display. I don't expect the other one would be much better. Okay, it is slightly better. Looks like the ringer was off on this one. Well, that's the date and time setting. Okay, I just realized, obviously I'm not going to be able to hear when the ringer is reached because the ringer is off. Duh. Alright. Wow, that is so loud. Alright, well, since these are nickel-cadmium batteries, I'm going to have to just let them discharge naturally in these telephones until I put them on the chargers again. But I sure hope I can get these displays working. These feel like great telephones. They're very solid, heavy phones. And these older analog AT&Ts were pretty cool. So next, let's do the General Electricity telephone. Oddly enough, the battery cover is not the same color as the phone. So I guess it could be this battery. Let's just check the Sony phone. Yeah, there's no way this would fit in here. Alright. So it's definitely this battery. But that just barely fits in. Oh no, it's actually fairly easy to get in. It just looks like it would not fit in quite right. Anyway. There we go, should be plugged in. And if I can get this cover back on, those wires are not really letting me. I really don't want to bend these the wrong way. Ah, jeez, how do they expect people to get these on? I wonder if you put the wires underneath? Nope. Oh, there we go. I think that's it. Okay, I think that's on. And it looks like the screen is gonna work, which is pretty surprising. So let's see, format. Format doesn't want to do anything. There's a program. All right. Looks like it's going to be a pretty typical GE firmware. And that's it. These buttons could use some help. That is an extremely basic telephone. Wow. Is there no way to get on the phone without there we go. I was gonna say, is there no way to get on the phone without pre-dialing first? Okay, it doesn't look like it wants to connect. It's doing something weird with the backlight there. And there we go. Evidently, I just needed to reset the security code. So, yep, these buttons could use a good cleaning, for sure. Let me see if there's anything in the memories. I always find it weird how they have, on GE phones, a lot of the time they have the piezo for producing the ringer and ketone here on the side, where it very easily gets covered up by your finger. And looks like the ringer was initially set to off. Let me see if there's anything in the call log. 40 new calls. So I'll check those later. see if I can get out of here. I don't guess that's how you do it. All right, I'll just let it time out. Now finally, let's check out this Sony phone. I'm very interested to see how this one behaves and what the range on it is like. Oh, cool. It beeped as soon as I put the battery in. And there's a thing in here, so I'm gonna put the wires going down. I always want to put the batteries into these telephones with the informations facing up. Sometimes the way the wires have to sit in there does not permit that. Nope. Alright, I will try it this way. These batteries have pretty thick wires. Yep, that solved it. Okay. It's possible this telephone also needs the buttons to be cleaned. Yep, this one's working. This has 2 ringtones and 2 speeds for each tone. That's a nice one, but it's also found on others, especially ones like, I think these even. So I'm gonna do, which is actually pretty shrill. Okay. I will unplug the AT&T charging cradle for now, so I can plug this in. Because between these telephones and some others that I have plugged in right now over here, the testing power strip is filled up currently. Okay. There we go. Not really hearing anything from it. There we go. Okay, let me get the testing phone line ready. And we can actually make some testing calls, starting from this Sony telephone. I'm not a big fan of how this antenna is right here by the side, so when you go to take up the phone, it just bangs into it. But at least this one's made of sturdier plastic. And there we go. It does not let you hear the DTMF tones as you dial, which is very strange. Sounds like the testing phone line may not be working. No, it's not. And it sounds like the speaker in this phone is not that loud either. Or the earpiece. Oh boy. Okay, I guess we're just gonna have to hang it up into the base. This is a testing message left from the Sony SPP-N1000 900 MHz analog or Anatan cordless telephone. And we're going to remotely access this message to test out the incoming audio of this phone. Oh, I probably should have changed the channel so we can hear what the data clips sound like on this phone. Alright, I'll leave another message as soon as the machine releases the line. And it just did, so now as soon as I get this phone on, okay, I need to talk into this answering machine as I try to press buttons so we can, there we go. 9's working okay, so we can hear what it sounds like when you dial a number. And now let's change the channel. Okay, is it back on yet? Yes, it is. And it flickers the talk light when you're changing the channel. That's pretty good. Okay, goodbye. Nope, there's just no way to get that off button to work. Okay. Now. And the machine just released the line. Let's call it up and do some remote access. I'll turn it up to medium for the video. I think it's getting interference.
Message. Press 0, 2, 4, press 1, 3, new messages, and 10, old messages. Message 2. This is a testing message left from the Sony SPP-N1000 900 MHz analog or Anatan cordless telephone. And we're going to remotely access this message to test out the incoming audio of this phone. Thursday, 3. Message 3. Okay, I need to talk into this answering machine as I try to press buttons. There we go. 9's working okay, so we can hear what it sounds like when you dial a number. And now let's change the channel. Okay, is it back on yet? Yes, it is. It flickers the talk light when you're changing the channel. That's pretty good. Okay, goodbye. Thursday, 3:35 p.m. End of messages.
Okay. And if you notice that I had to cut the video, that's because it turns out one of those 3 new messages, since I only recorded 2, I figured something was weird when it said 3 new messages, and then it turned out one of those new messages was one that I recorded the other day that was a Persatan message. Alright. Oh, and also, the clicking interference that this was getting was only from this camera, which is also known as the infamous the smartphone. As soon as I held it up to my ear and away from the camera phone, that clicking went away. So I think this phone has pretty quiet audio, but you can at least turn it up to be loud. It doesn't have good bass like some of the Unidens, but it certainly sounds clear, and the outgoing audio is also pretty good. And it works just fine. Well, except for the buttons, but all the major functions work just fine. So this does seem like a great telephone. Now let's call this up using another 900 megahertz cordless phone. Alright, here I've got the Uniden EXT1160. Probably should have left it on the charger for the first part of that so we could see whether or not there was auto talk, but then of course we couldn't have seen the handset light flickering when it rang. Okay, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Googleplex factorial. Holy crap. Testing with the incoming audio on high now. Alright, let's see if I can hear myself. And yes, indeed I can. Sounds good. So now let's test the outgoing audio. It sounds like it's working. And as we heard, of course, from the messages, it's also working. But this is just a live demonstration. Okay. Sounds good. Now let's call back to get the auto talk. Testing, testing. -1, -2, -9. Alright, that telephone seems to be working just fine, except, as I said, for the buttons, but that can be fixed easily. If I disassemble it, at least. I guess that's not a thing most people tend to do with their telephones, and that's certainly not something most consumer telephones were designed to do. But at least, or designed to do frequently, but at least many of the older ones are reasonably easy to get into. So, let's see, next for the testing phone line. Let me put this one down. For the testing phone line, next let's plug it into the GE telephone. That's pretty loud. Oh no.
The number you have reached, 605-767-2676, is not in service. Please check the number and try your call again. Thank you. The number you have reached.
That sounds pretty good even on high. It's not distorted at all. or level 4 as it calls it, Vol 4. Just switch to channel 14 from number 5. And now it's back on 01. Channel 10, 19, 28, 06. So it looks like this will be a 30 channel phone. Oh no, there it goes, 33. Probably 40 channels. Alright, well, incoming audio seems to be working just fine. So let's leave a testing message. This is a testing message recorded from the General Electricity model 27938GE2-A with a fake and broken antenna on the base. Next, let's press some buttons. Hey, at least this telephone lets you hear the buttons that or the numbers that you're dialing. And let's change the channel. It's now on channel 16. And now 34. And now number 3. And first I'll hang up using the talk button, and then I'll call back to hang up into the base. Alright, the machine released the line. I think this is for use with the call log, the format button here. Seems to be having some strange behavior on the base. But the machine did release the line just now, so it did hang up. Maybe that's just how these work when they're charging. The backlight just kind of goes on and off. But the charging indicator, as dim as it is indeed the lit. You can kind of see it glowing in there. Looks like this would have spent a lot of time charging. And honestly, this is a very heavy telephone, especially with the battery in there. Okay, let's listen to those testing messages remotely. Actually, no, we already did that with one. Let's just listen to it the regular way and get better sound quality. And I meant sound quality just from the perspective of the camera. Because a lot of answering machines do seem to have better quality playback of the messages when you're doing remote access. But in this case, firstly, the message quality is already, for all intents and purposes, lossless. So there wouldn't be much of a difference. And more importantly, this has actual amplification on the speaker for it, which is better for making the video.
1. New message and 13. Old messages. Message 1.
This is a testing message recorded from the General Electricity model 27938GE2-A with a fake and broken antenna on the base. Next, let's press the buttons. to hear the buttons the numbers that you're dialing. And let's change the channel. Now on channel 16. And now 34. And now number 3. And first I'll hang up using the talk button, and then I'll call back to hang up into the base.
Thursday, 3:48 p.m. End of messages.
Oh, I didn't save that base hanging up message. That's okay. We'll call it up directly from the testing answering machine and then hang up over the speakerphone here. Okay, hello, and goodbye. Hang up into the base. Okay, this telephone seems to be working just fine. And now let's test out at least audio on the AT&T system. I already plugged the testing phone line in. So let's first get on speakerphone. Very piercing audio. And once again, this is a phone, that does not let you hear the digits you're dialing. Or see them in this case. Sounds like there are just 4 volume levels.
605-767-2676 is not in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again. Thank you.
Well, that is very impressively clear audio from the speakerphone.
The number you have reached, 605-767-2676,
And it's reasonably loud as well.
is not in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again. The number you have reached, 605-767-2676, is not in service. Try your call again. Thank you. The number you have reached, 767.
Okay, let me transfer the message to the other handset, or the call to the other handset. This one sounds like it's louder.
72676 is not in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again. Thank you.
And it has excellent sound quality.
767-2676 is not in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again. Thank you. Reached 605-767-2676
That actually sounds louder as
is
well.
not in service. If you feel you have reached this
I wonder if this
recording in
handset
error,
just got a lot more
check the
use and
number
wear.
Try your call again. Thank you. The number you have reached, 605.
Now let's see how much of a full duplex speakerphone this has. It does sound like it's pretty good, but if I bring it right up next to my mouth, it actually still sounds pretty good.
Please check the number.
So hopefully that means that it's still working okay, but if it is indeed working just fine, the microphone that is, then the speakerphone is very nicely fully duplex. Alright, let's give it a testing call. Hello? Feedback Freak Show, get ready. Okay, hello, testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sounds like it's actually very clear audio. That's really cool. Okay, goodbye. And let's leave a... Actually, no, let's call back and check it again in comparison to this handset. Wow, okay, that was the ringing signal, I guess, that we just heard. Alright, hello, testing. Woo, that was very loud. I guess I should have expected that, but I thought this one was close to all the way up anyway. Alright. My camera smartphone ran out of battery, and then I got 2 extra phone calls. So that at least gave me a chance to let it charge up some more. But yeah, that feedback was unbelievably painful. Okay, so let's test the outgoing audio on these telephones by leaving some testing messages. This is a testing message recorded from the first handset that I picked up on this AT&T what is this? E5812B. And this is on talk mode. Now it's on speakerphone, speaking at the same distance. And now I'm speaking from about a foot to a foot and a half away from the telephone. And I'm going to set it down on the floor and start backing away from the phone, going across the room. I'm now about 5 feet away from the telephone, and now 6 feet away, and now I'm about 8 feet away from the telephone, and now I'm about... Okay, evidently, it did not pick up my voice properly at that distance. So let's call back and get the other handset in there. Okay, let's transfer to the other handset. Wow, that thing rings loudly. Now, I don't know if there's a way to do intercom on these telephones. It's kind of weird. It could be that it's only accessible from the menu, and I won't be able to find that out until I repair the screens. Alright, testing speakerphone from the same distance, and now from arm's length away. So, alright, I'll actually have to call back twice more in order to test out all the hang-up sounds I wanted to. But first, let's hang up using... first, actually, let's change the channel. Alright, is it back yet? Okay, it should be on another channel now, and now let's hang up using the off button. Then we're going to call back and hang up into the charging cradle and then into the base. Alright, this is a message recorded specifically to hang up. So let's hang up into the charging cradle. Oh, okay. I don't know if it actually hung up or not. I guess it did, because the light is no longer on. But it turns out I left this unplugged. Thankfully, there was just enough juice left in the adapter that the phone detected it. You could probably see the charge light came on for just a fraction of a second there. Let's listen to how the dialing sounds. Alright, now I'm going to hang up into the base.
New messages and 14 old messages. Message 1.
This is a testing message recorded from the first first handset that I picked up on this AT&T what is this? E5812B. And this is on talk mode. Speakerphone, speaking at the same distance. Now I'm speaking about a foot to a foot and a half away from the telephone. And I'm going to set it down on the floor. Start backing away from the phone. Across the room. Now about 5 feet away from the telephone.
Thursday, 4:47 p.m. Message 2.
Okay. Let's transfer to the other handset. Wow, that thing rings loudly. Now, I don't know if there's a way to do intercom on these telephones. It's kind of weird. It could be that it's only accessible from the menu, and I won't be able to find that out until I repair the screens. Alright, testing speakerphone from the same distance. Now from arm's length away. So, I'll actually have to call back twice more in order to test out all the hang-up sounds I wanted to. First, let's hang up using... let's change the channel. Alright, is it back yet? Another channel now, and now let's hang up using the off button.
Thursday, 4:48 p.m. Message 3.
Alright, this is a message recorded specifically to hang up. So let's hang up into the charging cradle.
Thursday, 4:49 p.m. Message 4.
Let's listen to how the dialing sounds. Alright, now I'm going to hang up into the base.
Thursday, 4:50 p.m. End of messages.
Well, as you could hear, those speakerphones were not at all impressive. I'm not sure if they have something wrong with them. I have another, I won't say similar, but it's from the same time period, AT&T cordless phone with a speakerphone, and that one is broken, I know for sure. The automatic gain control does not work anymore, and it's impossible to understand what's being said. But these seem like they kind of want to work, they just don't really work from more than an inch or two away from your mouth, which is ridiculous for a speakerphone. However, the talk mode sound quality was great, and those hang-up sounds were pretty interesting. Now let's take a listen to the paging tones on these telephones. And I believe this is the last feature I have to explore on them. First, on the Sony. Next, the GE. And then the AT&Ts. That's so loud. Alright, and that is it for this video. Although, not it for the series, of course, since I still need to deep clean and possibly repair these phones. But anyway, thank you for watching.